Welcome to Awakening the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christian Strang, and welcome to your September 2024 Oracle reading video edition. For those of you that are visual, you can go to my YouTube at Dr. Christian Strang or Sacred Spirituality and see the video of this Oracle reading and our message for you for September 2024. So let's get to it. We have entered this really, really powerful time in our consciousness. We know this, right? 2012, the light started trickling in more and more. 2020, we had a big expansion. Now we are at September 2024. And there are a lot of stories in the matrix, both in the artificial matrix and in the spiritual circles and in other sort of circles about what this time will bring. But what we know for sure is that the collective is experiencing a great constriction right now. And maybe you felt that, maybe you've noticed that. There's some kind of tension and constriction, almost like waiting to see what's going to happen because there's been so much disclosure about there being some kind of event that is coming, some kind of financial collapse. We know that this constriction is intentional. We know that fear creates constriction, and we know that constriction is not the fullestness of your being. So yes, the global economy is changing, and that is for good reason, because the 5D plus economy is rising. So we've had, the gifting economy, the sharing economy. We've had all these different sort of tendrils of the new economy beginning to make itself manifest. And that is going to go to a whole new level as we come into the fall of 2024 and continue forward towards the epic shift of 2025. So this is a very exciting time, and this is actually a time to expand as opposed to contract. However, everything in the matrix and the third and fourth dimensional matrix is telling you to contract. And if you have fears about prosperity and abundance and about survival, which almost every human does, then you may find yourself responding to that in some interesting ways. Maybe making yourself a little bit smaller, constricting yourself more, hiding away even is something that you might notice is coming up for you at this time. However, we're coming out of this maximum expansion energy of the summer season, and we're beginning to come into the settling in of the balance and the peace and the stillness of fall. And what fall brings to us is this ability to anchor in at a new level to who we really are, to create peace in our unfolding. So as we're in these final weeks of late summer, you may notice sort of an anchoring in coming, and you may notice yourself feeling drawn to care for yourself at a new level and expand into who you really are at a new level. Do not ignore these impulses because they are your divine impulses. And today we're going to talk about that. So your Oracle reading for today comes from our currently out of print, sold out publication, Radical Abundance and Radical Times. We released this privately in 2021. It was a major hit. I am working on version 2. Stay tuned. It's been a busy, busy time since 2020. And I know I've got to get more books to you, so I'm working on that. But in the meantime, we do have an Oracle reading for you today for September to guide and direct and bless you. But before we go into that reading, I want to tell you about something very exciting that we have happening as we are coming into this fall energy. And it is happening September 19th on 9/19. 9/19 symbolizes the closing and completion of an old chapter, which is really the old economy and financial system. And we're stepping in with the equinox energy into this new 5D plus economy energy. So we want to invite you to join me and Source and Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, the God Goddess of the Golden Age, and all of the goddesses and gods and angels of the highest light for Create Your Own Economy, a 5D plus approach to abundance. It's an online healing event that I'm leading starting at 2:22 Pacific time on September 19th. We're working with the 222. That means have faith, everything's working out for you, and also as a number associated with the goddess Magdalene. So we're always using the highest frequencies that we can possibly use to support you, especially when we gather in this collective way, because we're accelerating the healing that is happening. We're going to be talking about how you can create your own personal economy, how that is the call of the 5D plus vibrational frequency and is an important part of your ascension. In fact, in order to become your higher self, you got to get this money thing sorted out. You got to come to a place of peace and grounding and abundance and prosperity with money. Now, if you're someone who's already there, well done. Check that off the karmic list. And you are being invited into a new level of expansion and creation, which is to create in a new way using the 5D plus principles of source and love consciousness. So we'll be going deeper into that. I'll be taking your cues. So I want you to bring me your specific situation, and I'm going to channel the guidance and the next steps for you, which I'm very excited to do. We haven't done something like this in years, so very exciting. We're going to give you a meditation activation attunement to support you in creating your 5D plus economy. And we are also going to be giving you a specific spiritual RX prescription, if you will, for next steps so that you can really step into this shift that's happening in the collective economy in an empowered, vibrant way as you are creating your own fifth dimensional plus economy. This is very exciting. This is exactly how you always wanted it to be. You really wanted to step into releasing your codependence, releasing your disempowerment, and stepping into your full vitality and radiance as a creatrix here on Earth. You feeling me on that? I know you are. Okay, so to assist you with that, we're going to share with you this transmission for September to guide and direct you. And then, of course, join us either live or via the replay on September 19th. I will have links in the show notes. You can also go to sacred-spirituality.org/blog to see all the details and how to gift in so that you can be part of this incredible experience that we are putting together for you at this really pivotal time for your consciousness and the collective consciousness. And it really is an exciting time. And it's important to note that as we've watched the collapsing, we saw in 2020 that the disclosure of the Western medical industrial complex, that matrix was revealed to be what it really was, the greater matrix. You saw revelations about what that really was. This is so important. It has to be seen. You have to see it, and then you have to choose to create and be part of the creation of the new systems for your own enlightenment, for your own ascension, for your own highest karma and evolution. So this is so, so important. Now the next piece is more and more disclosure about what's really going on in the financial systems. You could watch movies like The Big Short to give you a little bit more on that. And also just understanding this is a totally manipulated, curated pyramid scheme that you've been involved in, and you get to break free of it. And that's very exciting for your soul, for your spirit, and for all that are on Earth, except for the control agenda, but we don't need to talk about that. So this is a really exciting time. We want you to step into that sense of expansion, noticing if you're constricted. This was actually something my spiritual team was pointing out to me. It's like, oh, look at all the ways you've actually been constricting and making yourself smaller that I hadn't even realized I was doing. And I consider myself to be someone who has a very high level of wealth consciousness. However, there are little ways that over the past 4 years, there's been a real attack on pure souls, light beings. And so that over time can sort of take dings out of your self-worth. So it's kind of like being in an abusive relationship with a narcissist who is, strategically belittling you and gaslighting you. That's taking dings out of your self-esteem and your self-worth and your ability to recognize yourself as a divine creatrix here on Earth. So I want to invite you to join me and the team on September 19th, get an amazing up-leveling, get some direct guidance and next steps to support your path, get direct channeled guidance for your specific situation. If you can't be with us live, you can submit questions to have those answered. So you're going to have a lot of support so that as we see more about the truth of the financial economy. What is an economy? It's actually about the word economy is based on scarcity. So we're completely shifting that. And we're going to be talking more about how you can break free of that hold of that matrix. So anytime you enter one of the control systems matrices, you become susceptible to their control. So we're going to talk about how you can break free. And we have been talking about that since, 2016, 2018. It was diversify your income, make sure you've got at least 3 streams of abundance coming in, diversify your holdings, make sure you have holdings in tangible assets. Like a lot of spiritual guidance has been coming through. Of course, you're an empowered being, so you can choose to activate whatever pieces of guidance you want and let go of whatever you don't want. You are a divine being of the light. You get to choose, but the karmic record has to show that we invited you, that we gave you the invitation, that we told you what was up so that you could choose the highest path for yourself. Now, are you ready to get into that oracle reading? Yes, I know you are. My team is like, okay, get to the oracle reading. So I want you to allow yourself to really sink into this. The oracle reading that came up when I asked, what do these souls need to know right now for September as the economy is changing, the global economy, as you are being invited to move out of scarcity and out of your patriotism, I'm hearing, with these control matrices and systems. What is it that you most need to know? And it was, you're here to live rich. Did you know this? You are here to live rich. In fact, your very being is abundance. And we're going to be talking about all of this and more and giving you a spiritual activation. And this is like the pre-funk for your September 19th experience with us, the Master Healing event. Okay. You're here to live rich. So take some nice deep breaths, place your hands at your sacred heart or in prayer position, close your eyes, and just allow yourself to really sink into your beautiful physical body. And as I share this transmission with you, just noticing the energy that's moving within your body, the clarity that might come, the peace that washes over you, the insights that might come to you. These transmissions are at a high vibrational frequency of the 12th dimension and higher. We'll talk about that some other time. And this allows you to go into and drop into an alpha state. Do you see how even I'm dropping into an alpha state just looking at the words? Right, so you're going to drop into an alpha state where you can go into that soft healing state where healing can happen for you. All right. In these times of great expansion, many of you are hearing the call. You're hearing the call of that deeper part of you that's inviting you to experience life in new ways and at new levels. Gone are the days that you expect or days that do not fill you up in the ways that you most deserve to feel filled. We're intending for you and all called a truly rich life, a life filled with the joy and expansion that you most love to experience in your life. Much is said about your word known as rich, and much is thought about it too, that somehow this word has become tainted by stories about what it means for one to be rich in their spirit and a body experience. We want to talk about the richness, the true richness that all are genuinely seeking for, and how you can bring that into your experience with much ease and much grace. Rich living is not merely about money or the forms of your exchange. This is the message we will give to you over and over again. Far too much is made out of money and your forms of exchange and its place, its true place in your life. And don't worry, we're not going to tell you it doesn't matter because we wouldn't do that to you. Yes, these forms of exchange are often used by you to create and experience more freedom in your life. But if you were to place your focus on the other areas that truly make a life rich, then the money would flow to you with ease and there would be nothing for you to worry about. It is your focus on having money and forms of exchange and its lack or not enoughness that repels it from your experience. I'm going to read that one more time. I want you to really feel this because this is what's been happening with all the rumblings about the economy. It is your focus on having money and forms of exchange and its lack or not enoughness that actually repels it from your experience. Just as we have described happens with anything that you put an intense, I must have this focus on. So when we're talking about living a rich life, we're talking about your opportunity to live the fullest, richest life experience. A life that contains all of the aspects and elements that most light you up. And so you are here at this point in time on your journey with an opportunity to live in the fullness of you. That's where we desire for you to start, starting with the fullness of you, starting with getting clear about what fills you up. What does a rich life truly look like for you? Christian has written about and talked about her own journey with this. She thought prior to our direct involvement in her life experience that the words rich and wealth were focused solely on cash money. And what she has learned through her connection with us is that that is not the fullness of that word. That is one aspect, and a tiny aspect, we will say, of what it truly means to live a wealthy, rich life. Do not misunderstand, as we can feel many of you bristling to this. Cash money, as Christian calls it, or whatever your forms of exchange are, will be with you in wondrous amounts, but only when you follow the principles outlined, meaning you release your intense focus on having to have the money and needing it and aching for it and worrying about it and stressing out about it and trying to control it. It is just like anything you desire in your life experience. It will flow to you when you can relax into the knowing that it is yours to have already, and all you need to do is relax, enjoy other aspects of your life, and it will flow in. But again, we want you to focus on what fills you up. Make a list. What fills you up? Take time to reflect on it. In fact, take yourself out into nature and ask yourself, what truly fills me up? What lights up my path? What makes me most come alive? Who are the people I most desire to experience this life with? Get clear about these areas. Get clear about what a rich life looks like for you. Let it flow to you. Write it down, feel it throughout your body, and then consciously and intentionally begin to take actions to bring this into your life. I'm going to skip over this. This just talks about my path with wealth and realizing that sustainability and regeneration was really important to me. You most likely already know that part of my story. We want you to get clear about what does rich living look like to you? What does it feel like? And how can you bring that into your experience right now? It is all always expanding and evolving. And when you take action and direction in the and when you take action in the direction of this rich life that you're here for, sometimes just as simple, and we're not joking here, as simple as bringing in a fresh plant, or as big as buying a sustainable vehicle, or changing the nature of your investments, or something more tangible and sustainable. Taking actions to bring this into manifestation will make all the difference. So it's just simple actions that you can start to take that will begin to activate your rich life. We want, and we're always advocating for you to be clear first and foremost about who you are and what is most important to you at a core true you level. You know what is most important to you by the way that it feels in your body. How yes does it feel in your heart? And then from that yes, you must take action. And those actions will elevate you to new heights in embodying and living a life of more and greater wealth. We will continue to work with you here on this as we expand your understanding and all of consciousness's understanding of what true wealth is and what it means to truly live rich. Start here. Begin to get a clearer picture on what rich living is to you. And yes, we hear some of you asking this. Yes, this includes the numbers in your bank account. Just release the need to persevere. Just release the need to perseverate on any of these aspects, meaning don't go over and over again in your mind and be worried about it and be trying to control it. Notice and take the easiest actions that you can take to bring your next level of richness into being. Then notice the next piece and take actions to bring those in, and so on. And from there, once you are in this expanded place, we will share more with you in what's to come on 9/19. They set us up perfectly for this. I didn't even realize that. May you thrive in your richly fulfilling life. And so it is. It is so. Take a nice deep breath. Just letting that wash over you. So you have some next steps until 9/19. Get out in nature. really reflect on what truly lights me up, what truly makes me come alive, what feels like the most me. And then what are some actions you can take? Maybe you decide to move some of your investments into tangible assets. Maybe you decide to buy a fresh plant. Maybe you decide to buy a vehicle that's more sustainable. Whatever it is that you do, take that action and then join us on September 19th. And we're going to give you more there. We're going to talk more about what a 5D plus economy looks like. We are going to dissect this whole notion of economy, because remembering that the words are spells, words are creation points, and the word economy has been co-opted to actually represent scarcity and actually put you in a state of fear and fight flight. So we'll be going deeper into that, how you can untangle from that. We're going to be giving you some healing so that you can untangle from that and get some really great ideas for how to begin to create your 5D plus economy. And of course, we'll give you some new terms to use for that as well. So really taking this whole notion about money and abundance and prosperity and your wounds around that and taking that to a new level. How do you know if you have wounds around money? You experience any sort of fear, constriction, uncertainty, the clumpedness about money. You know, someone in my life is a great example I want to share with you, and it just keeps coming in. This person was really struggling with abundance and wasn't sure like what their next steps were. Their business had really sort of plateaued and even started faltering. They weren't getting inspiration on what to do next. The only thing that kept coming to them was this vehicle that really represented like wealth to them. And they were talking to me about it, and they're like, it seems crazy that I would spend money that I really like should allocate for these other things on this vehicle, but I can't shake it. I need to get this vehicle, and it makes no sense. And I don't know why I'm being guided to do it, but I'm going to take my savings and my reserves and I'm going to buy this vehicle. And I thought, whoa, okay. Oh, this is like when I have clients and they're like, I just quit my job and I'm gonna start my healing practice full time to support me. I'm like, oh, we can make this softer. We can make this more gentle. My team did that with me. I wanted to just make the leap, and they're like, nope, we're gonna ease you into this. It's a less bumpier ride. So I thought this might be a bumpy ride, but the intuition was not shaking from them. This vehicle represented so much to them. It represented this level of richness and wealth and freedom that they were just not able to access in their current unfolding. So they bought the vehicle. And what do you know? Their whole life changed. I'm not even kidding you. That vehicle up leveled their consciousness to such a state that a new business was formed, new abundance came in, all this incredible flow came into their life. And they joke that like buying this vehicle really totally changed their experience of wealth. So this story and this guidance may not be for everyone, but it also symbolizes what was being brought through in this transmission, that tune into whatever that action is. And maybe it's a new plant, maybe it's a vehicle, maybe it's taking a big leap, maybe it's moving to the place that you've always wanted to live, whatever it is. But so often we're in constriction and we're waiting and waiting and waiting for the economy to do something, for our clients to do something, for our boss to do something. And really, it's us. It really is up to us taking action. So thank you so much for listening, for watching, for being here on this earth at this incredible time. And I look forward to seeing those of you that feel the resonance to create your own economy, a 5D plus approach to abundance. It is our online healing event taking place September 19th. 2024 at 2:22 Pacific. You can join live or via the replay and submit questions if you can't join us live. All the gift and information can be found and how to register at sacred-spirituality.org/blog. You can also check the show notes for that information. We also have a new free offering on sacred-spirituality.org. It is a spiritual healer compass. So it's a quiz you can take to see what kind of spiritual healer you are and gives you some ideas for your next steps in doing your divine work here on earth. So we've got lots of goodness for you. Check it out at sacred-spirituality.org. Thank you so much for listening and being here. Again, I'm so grateful to you for being on this journey that we all incarnated at this time and said, hey, let's come down for the greatest show on earth and be part of this. And here we are. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Christian Strang, and this has been Awakening, the podcast.